Hello, and thank you for tuning in. I am Mo Al-Khalaf, a postdoctoral research fellow at the University of Ottawa Heart Institute, and today's episode of Beats Research Radio is part of our special series focusing on the upcoming 2020 Canadian Cardiovascular Congress. Here with me is Dr. Mark Ruel, the Michael Petfield Professor and Chairman, Head and Endowed Chair of Research in the Division of Cardiac Surgery at the University of Ottawa Heart Institute. A highly active member of the Canadian Cardiovascular Society, Dr. Ruel is the incoming president-elect of the Society. Thank you so much, Dr. Ruel, for giving us a few minutes to talk about your upcoming work for the Congress.
Hi, Mo. Thanks so much for having me.
Absolutely. It's our pleasure. My first question for you today is, as we all prepare to participate in the annual gathering of cardiovascular health professionals in Canada, I'd like to ask you to comment about the current state of cardiovascular health in the country, and how do you think the current pandemic is going to change it moving forward?
That is not a small question, Mo, but I think it's a very relevant one, and I completely agree that this is one of the main topics of the day, right? COVID is bringing several impacts. It's not only a lung disease, but it's very largely a cardiovascular disease. And patients who don't do well with COVID is often because of cardiovascular manifestations, either inflammation or thrombosis. In the same token, COVID has pressures on the Canadian and the entire world healthcare system with regards to detection of cardiovascular disease, resources that are available to treat COVID patients and non-COVID patients. And as you know well, the increased death toll brought by COVID is probably, to pick a number, half and half due to the virus itself, and the other half due to the pressures on the healthcare systems and jurisdictions all around the world. So we have to be very cognizant, especially with regards to cardiovascular disease being the main killer of Canadians and North Americans, that we continue our focus and our thrust forward with regards to research, education, and care given for this lethal condition, despite COVID. And the two intersect often, as we just alluded to.
Yeah, and of course, something like COVID brings in the pressures on scheduling of planned surgeries and telemedicine, all kinds of changes that are happening in our healthcare system to accommodate and overcome this pandemic situation.
Yeah, I would add, Mo, that the Canadian Cardiovascular Congress, which can be found online at cardiocongress.org, cardiocongress.org, and then you can register, runs next week from the 21st to the 24th. There will be a very, very thorough, very comprehensive mix of information around COVID and how it affects cardiovascular practitioners, researchers, educators. And also, the major new advances in cardiovascular disease treatment that have been brought forth by 2020. 2020, I would say, was a very fertile year, both with regards to heart failure medications, diabetes medications, the ischemia trial. Canada has been very, very, very central to many of those developments. And CCC is the top platform to really learn, engage, and be part of the excitement and the application of those novelties. So I think it's the top rendezvous not to be missed, and it's next week from the 21st to the 24th. And do put some time in your calendar, because there's something in it for everybody. It goes from clinicians in the community, primary care physicians, guidelines, presentations, to researchers who may be more involved in one area of basic science, such as yourself and Emilio, working on one of the holy grails, if you will, of myocardial regeneration, which is still the elusive goal that we're trying to achieve, right? It's a little bit like what I call the cancer cure for cardiovascular, to regenerate the myocardial cell, which is one of the most difficult things we can do at the basic translational science level.
Absolutely, absolutely. CCC is definitely where we can bring both the bench work and the bedside work that's related to cardiovascular health in Canada, and put a spotlight on all the hard work that's happening from the trainees all the way to the most senior of clinician investigators.
Now, I appreciate the support of basic scientists like you and Emilio and your team.
Oh, thank you so much. And
it displays the breadth of interests around CCC. I think, as we were saying earlier, there is something there for everybody, whether to bring in the clinical relevance that is needed to the research that you and Emilio and the rest of the team do, but also with regards to hearing the latest in developments around that.
Yes, thank you so much for that. And my final question is, can you tell us maybe one of the things that you're looking forward to most at CCC, specifically with it being a virtual conference for the first time this year?
So this is going to be very new for all of us. So I must say that to answer your question, there's many, many aspects of CCC that I look forward to, and I won't go through a very long list of those. But I think to get the feel and the level of scrutiny and organization and thought that have been put into this virtual platform, I think will be really the intriguing factor going forward. I know that our team has put countless dozens and dozens of hours to make sure that the experience, the virtual experience of CCC 2020 is going to be simply unmatched. So I think our attendees and our community and our very broad Canadian cardiovascular community and beyond will be very impressed. And I look forward to seeing the results of that. I know it will be something amazing, and we've seen already previews, if you will, of what the CCC will be about. And I think all our attendees or members and our non-members who choose to attend as well, and we encourage many of those to come as well, will be very, very impressed.
Yes, it's definitely going to be exciting. I've also seen a few previews, and the type of content as well as the interactive software platforms are going to be quite exciting to go through and learn how to use as we move forward. And this will probably be a version of the future of how conferences will be like, but hopefully we'll still have in-person meetings next year.
That's correct, yeah.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ruel, for sharing this information, and we look forward to seeing your efforts in full display in the coming few days when Congress is underway. And thanks to our audience for checking out this special CCC Beats Research Radio episode. Subscribe to our YouTube channel or find us on your favorite podcast app. On behalf of the whole team at Beats Research Radio, stay safe and heart healthy.
Thank you.
Thank you.